Lovely viewers, you are welcome once again to the National Journal, and thank you so much for your love and support for this channel. I've received a lot of feedback, in fact positive feedback, from people who watched the video I just posted last week concerning Ghana's 68th independence celebration and how some beautiful daughters of Africa, of Ghana, dressed to send a message across to Ghana and the rest of Africa. And I am so overwhelmed by the positive feedback. These, kind words and feedback encourage us to do more things. And so one thing that stood out in the feedback that I got was that a lot of the people who watched the video expressed interest in knowing more about Ghana's traditional symbol, especially those who are not Ghanaians. And that is all what my channel is all about. That is all Ghana National Journal is about. As an artist, as an educationist, and as a nature lover, I believe that all these things go hand in hand. The arts, culture, and tourism needs to be reinforced with proper education. And these three things, arts, culture, and tourism, has its direct impact on nature. That is the reason why this channel is all about the arts, culture, nature, and tourism and education. That is why we talk about all the things that we need to know, the do's and don'ts of our society. And so I believe that this is the right platform to address some of these issues. Today, I'm going to take you into the world of Ghana's traditional symbols. So if you are ready, let's go. Now, thank you so much for sticking with me thus far. For the sake of our friends and people who are supporting this page, who are not Africans, and for that matter, who are not even Ghanaians, and even those who are Ghanaians who are not Akans, let us learn how to pronounce the word Edinkra very well. Edinkra is an Akan word, and almost all Akan words in the Akan language have a two-tone, approach. It has either a high tone and a low tone. The high tone and the low tone. And these two tones are indicated by the accent I have placed on the Edinkra word. Okay? But you should keep it in mind that the fact that I have indicated the tones on the word Edinkra does not necessarily mean that that is the normal representation in the orthographic of Akan language. You will not see that in Akan books with these tones on it. It is just done purposely to help our viewers so that the next time you visit Mother Ghana and you go to any of the Akan towns in Ghana, you can easily pronounce Edinkra. So let's start. Edinkra. Edinkra. Well done. Now let's move on. Now, for the sake of our viewers who are not from Africa or from Ghana, and even those from Ghana who do not know and understand the Akan language, let me give you a brief introduction into the Akan language. Because it is by getting a basic grasp and understanding of the Akan language that is what will make you appreciate the Edinkra as a symbol and as a non-verbal language. So, way back in the 1950s, the term Akan has been used in Ghana to refer to a language with several dialects, which includes the Fanti, the Ekuapem, the Ashanti, the Bono, the Wasa, the Agona, the Achem, and Kwau. Now, these dialects are predominantly spoken in the central, Bono, the Ashanti, as well as the eastern and the western regions of Ghana. Now, according to statistics, as at 2021, around 45% of Ghanaians, or approximately 9.1 million people in Ghana, speak Akan as a first or second language, making it the most spoken local language in Ghana and serve as a second language for various groups aside the Akan people, such as the Anyuin, the Sehui, the Nzima, and Ahanta in the west, and even to my people from Cherepong, the Guans, and the Futu and the Hutu, all in Ghana. So the Akan language is a popular language. In fact, if Ghana is to get to the level where we would want to adopt a local language as a first or second official language of Ghana, the likelihood of it being Akan is very high. Because, 45% of the people in Ghana speaking this particular language makes it the dominant language. The other percentage is spread over the other important and lovely languages of Ghana, like the Ga, like the Ewe, and languages from the northern part of Ghana. So Akan language is a big deal. Because of that, in many of these areas, Akan is used as the medium of instruction during the very early years of primary school education. It is also widely spoken even in churches and play a crucial role in trade and business. Now, the Akan language influence extends to nearly all regional capitals, especially Accra, the capital of Ghana, which is occupied by predominantly Ga and Ga language as a key language of trade. This will give you a grasp of what the Akan language is. And I'm saying Akan, I'm not saying Ashanti. Ashanti is part of the Akan group. There are the Kwapims, the Kwawus, all these are part of the Akans. Let me even make it more interesting. Because I spoke about the Ashanti, let me make the conversation more interesting. You see, among the Akan dialect groups, which I've already spoken about, that is the Kwapim, the Fanti, the Ashanti, the Bono, the Wasa, the Agona, the Achim, and the Kwawu dialects. Only three have achieved literary status with well-established written forms. That is the Ashanti, the Kwapim, and Fanti. That is the reason why in Ghana, the likelihood of someone being associated with Ashanti tribe because he speaks Akan is very high. Others can easily be likely to be associated with the Ekwapem tribe or the Fanti tribe because they speak Akan language. It is because these three dialects in the Akan speaking areas have gained literary status. The Ashanti, Ekwapem, and Fanti. In a very typical Akan community, peace and understanding is achieved within families by using symbolic communications. Oh yes, this is a very common and important thing because instead of direct confrontations, individuals express their feelings in a way that reduces conflict and promotes social harmony. In essence, Akan communicative competence extends beyond verbal language. It embraces the wisdom of silence, the power of symbols, and the subtlety of nonverbal expressions to ensure smooth interaction and societal balance. So, the communicative competence in Akan communities goes beyond just knowing what to say. It involves understanding when, where, how, and to whom to speak. In most communities, in Akan speaking areas, communication is not solely about words. Nonverbal cues play a crucial role. We the Akans believe that actions speak louder than words. And in fact, it is not only Akans. Virtually every cultural group or ethnic group in Ghana believes that action speaks louder than words. So, anyone who relies more on gestures, symbols, and silence rather than excessive speech, too much talk, is seen as a skilled communicator. This belief is rooted in the idea that excessive speech can lead to misunderstanding and conflict. Hence, the Akan proverb, "Kasadodoɔ mu wɔ mfomsoɔ," too much speech is embedded with troubles. The more one talks, the higher the risk of offending others, whether intentionally or unintentionally. So, on the other hand, non-verbal communication expressed through silence, emblems, gestures, and even the choice of clothing helps maintain harmony within families and communities. When I was a child, I was told of a king who was removed from the throne because of his inability to decipher the code or the communication between his subject through the cloth they wore. And this leads to another important proverb in the Akan language. Obenyansafo yebu ne be na yenkanasem. Literally meaning a word to the wise is enough. And this reflects this cultural value I am talking about. So in Akan societies, non-verbal communication is deeply rooted in our daily lives. For example, two rivals in a family or in the community can express their tension through their attire. Even the color, the pattern, the position of the patterns, the combination of the colors, and the style they choose send so many unspoken messages. Now, one important unique feature of every human civilization is the ability to communicate non-verbally by the use of symbols and totems and icons to let people understand and also send a message across. And so symbols have become essentially part of every human civilization, and symbols serve multiple purposes. Value for both their aesthetic appeal and their ability to communicate deep meanings. They are primarily non-verbal representations of proverbs, parables, and maxims that reflect the philosophical beliefs, the spiritual beliefs, the cultural beliefs, and the way of life of a particular people. Now, when it comes to Africa, and for that matter, Ghana in particular, the key objective in the use of symbols has been to translate proverbs into visual symbols. And not only proverbs, to also translate spiritual messages and spiritual activities into simple symbols that can be easily relatable to the people and the cultural practices and rituals that accompany them. Now, when this is done, they are then incorporated into royal clothing, into everyday clothing, and into spiritual and ritual activities. So proverbs and symbols are not only captivating in the Ghanaian context, but they also serve as a repository of imagination, knowledge, wisdom, ethics, spiritual rituals, and moral values. It is because their influence extends across various aspects of life, including the various religions in Ghana, Christianity, Islam, and then the African traditional religion, and also philosophy, sociology, medicine, economic science, history. The list can go on and on. Even geography. Now, the symbols are used in textiles and are used in murals and artworks. Now, it is important to state that most Ghanaians and even non-Ghanaians come into first-hand contact with these traditional symbols through textiles. They are boldly seen in many of Ghana's rich textiles. That is the Kente from the Akan speaking part and even the Ewe speaking part of Ghana. But beyond textiles, these symbols are also integrated into artistic expressions in wood and metalwork. They are used in making jewelry and ornament and even other traditional regalias used at the palace and for ritual purposes. But the inspiration behind their designs is drawn from the different facets of life, including historical events, human attitudes, animal behavior, plant attitude and symbolism, and sometimes abstract representation of natural and man-made objects. So many of these symbols are preserved by community elders, with some considered so sacred that only a select individual are permitted to see them, especially the ones that are linked with sacred rituals and cultural ceremonies. Others also serve as national symbols by imparting important cultural and moral lessons to society. Symbols are so important to Ghana such that they are integrated into our everyday life, from the swearing in of our president to election campaigns to even the choice of political party symbols and icons to religious ceremonies, rituals, and our beautiful artworks. So like I said, the Akan word Edinkra translates to goodbye or farewell. and is commonly used when parting ways. The term Edinkra itself is derived from two Akan words, di meaning to eat or to discuss, and Nkra meaning message. So Edinkra symbols are visual messages meant for specific audience. They carry different emotions during farewells. And as you know, sometimes farewells express hope for a reunion, while other times they show sadness over a permanent separation like death. That is the reason why Edinkra symbols are commonly linked to funerals. But their meanings go beyond just death. They also represent wisdom, guidance, and reflection, often marking important life changes such as marriage, travel, or reaching adulthood. That is the reason why traditionally when Edinkra symbols were very common and were used in fabrics, they were usually used during funeral times. But in modern times, they have transcended beyond funerals to, rites of passages, birth, puberty, marriage. And this is important because at every stage of this rite of passage, there is a need to send a philosophical or proverbial message to the participants and the people who are around to witness such important life ceremonies. You might be wondering, how are they crafted? Traditionally, they are crafted from motifs cut into calabash. And even in modern times, motifs crafted from foam or from plywood materials or from wooden materials and imprinted onto mourning cloths worn during different stages of funeral ceremonies. Again, in modern times, there is the use of digital embroidery machines to beautifully craft these traditional symbols onto modern Edinkra fabrics for chiefs and royal ceremonies, and also for marriages and even naming ceremonies. Now, with all this said, one will wonder, what is the origin, or where is the origin of the Edinkra symbols, and how did it spread across the whole of Ghana? It is about to get interesting. You see, the Edinkra symbols are often strongly associated with the Ashanti people. Yes, I've said it. It is strongly associated with the Ashanti people. And the genesis and early development of these symbolic motifs are unfortunately in the Bono kingdom. Specifically in the German people, which is a subgroup within the Bono. But just as one musician said, by big. Meaning, you brought it, but we made it big. Yes, Edinkra, the German people of the Bono kingdom, but the Ashantis made it big and bigger. Now let me bring the heat. Now, oral tradition and some historical account credits GhanaNatGeo Agyeman Edinkra, who was a king in the German kingdom. Currently, they are in Cote d'Ivoire with the early developments and popularization of these symbols. So the term Edinkra itself is believed to be derived from his name. And historically, Edinkra cloth adorned with these stamped symbols served as a significant form of visual communication and cultural expression within the old German kingdom. Now, how did it spread then? So the spread of Edinkra to the Ashanti kingdom was significantly influenced by military conflict and subsequent cultural exchange. The Ashantis became Ashantis because of war. Hence the name Esa Inti, meaning because of war, let's come together to forge ahead. And hence, because of this unification to forge ahead and then fight for a common goal, they, the Ashantis, understood the value of the integration of sacred texts and symbols in garment for ritual, cultural, and political purposes. Now, this was as a result of their early contact and warm embrace with Arabic and Islamic scholars. The Ashantis, as you know them, were therefore exposed to Edinkra cloth and its associated symbolism because of their warfare. In the early 19th century, around the 1818, the Ashanti Empire, under the Asantehene, engaged in wars with the German. And as I have already indicated, the Germans were already incorporating Edinkra in their cloth as their normal, everyday custom. So this war, which is the
Ashanti-German War led to the defeat of the Germans and the capture of some skilled and important artisans from the German kingdom and the Prince of Germany, Nana Kwejo Edinkra, his son, called Apau by the great Ashanti army. And all these people, the artisans, the prince, and some other relics were taken back to the Ashanti kingdom as a war booty, just as it's been done everywhere in the world. So Prince Apau, who being a royal and a son of Nana Edinkra, now defeated, and the other skilled artisans who were brought into captivity in Ashanti were absorbed into the Ashanti kingdom. Why? Because Ashantis always wanted people to come and join them to forge ahead. And so this prince, together with the skilled artisans, taught and trained local artisans the meaning and the philosophy behind these Edinkra symbols. But as we always say, the Ashantis, known for their sophisticated and rich cultural practices and proper understanding of kingdom principles, politics and commonwealth knowledge, adopted and adapted the Edinkra symbols into its present form. They integrated them into their own visual collection, including royal regalias, textiles, and other forms of artistic expressions. The Asantehene and other high-ranking individuals then adopted the use of the Edinkra cloth for important ceremonies and occasions, further enhancing the prestige and visibility of the symbol. And so, like I said, Bonofon Nedebae, Nenso Asantefono, and a no big. The Bono were conquered because of war. It spread to Ashanti. The Ashantis adapted and adopted it and made it big and visible for the whole of Ghana. That is the reason why you are likely to hear anybody associating Edinkra to Ashantis, which is right in its sense because they adopted and adapted it and made a lot of collections. And I'm saying this because when I was a student at Kenya University and as an art student, we were made to design new Edinkra symbols as part of our coursework in the Department of Rural Art and Industry. And these Edinkra symbols were then sent to the Kumasi Cultural Center and gathered to become part of the collection of Ashanti Edinkra symbols. And anybody who attended KNUST and remembers GhanaNatGeo Owusu-Ansah, popularly known as Nana P, you know I am saying the truth. This is way back 2007, 2008, 2009. Yes. And so the Ashantis made it big. They expanded the collection of the Edinkra symbols because the craftsmen who were then in the Bono German kingdom were all captured into the Ashanti kingdom, were given new identity, and they were integrated into the Ashanti way of life, and hence the collection grew and it has now become Ashanti visibility, even though it was started from the German kingdom. After following the adoption by the powerful Ashanti kingdom, the Edinkra symbols gradually spread to other powerful Akan groups, including the Fanti, the Kwapem, the Akwamus, the Achim, and the Kwawus. This diffusion likely occurred through trade, intermarriage, political alliance, and shared cultural practices because they are all Akans. Now, as the symbols were adopted by different Akan groups, variations in their interpretation and even the creation of new symbols emerged, reflecting the unique histories and philosophies of these distinct communities. So, today, Edinkra symbols are abundant in Ghana and beyond, serving as a powerful visual representation of Akan philosophy, history, and cultural values. They are found on a wide array of objects, from clothing and jewelry to architectural elements and logos of even state institutions, educational institutions, and health institutions. Their continued use in contemporary Ghanaian society underscores their enduring relevance as a form of cultural identity and communication. So in wrapping up, the Akan Edinkra symbols stand as a testament to the dynamic interplay of history and culture in Ghana. Yes, my beautiful Ghana. The Edinkra symbols serve as a vital link to the past embodying the wisdom and philosophical depth of Akan traditions. And with this, if you see anybody outside Ghana using our gazetted and carefully curated and collected Adinkra symbols, tell them to be careful, because these are symbols that has been gathered and collected through blood and war, and they mean a lot to us. And with this, I want to say that if you want authentic Adinkra symbols, come to Ghana. With this said, I want to encourage all of you to subscribe to this channel, because I'm going to take you through each and every one of the Adinkra symbols, their meaning, the history behind it, and its practicality in modern life. And so if you are interested, please consider subscribing and sharing this video for other people who want to know more about this to also like and subscribe. And like I always end my videos by saying, please stay away from harmful drugs, because if you use narcotic drugs and abuse any form of drugs, be it prescription or whatsoever it is, you are digging your early grave. Stay safe. Let's meet another time. Bye-bye, and God be with you.